We're going to start things off with Stuart.
That would have been a good one.
As everything starts, Stuart is the beginning.
He's also the end. He's the alpha and the omega.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So is that shirt he chose.
Yeah, he's at the Dude Ranch.
Matt Vaughan, our vlogger extraordinaire, at least vlogger of the week or vlogger of the month or whatever we're calling him these days.
He's a vlogger.
He's going to open in the hijack with 2 6s. He's going to get called by Ken with the King Deuce suited. And
If this is your first episode of Poker Time for some reason, that's not abnormal for Ken.
yeah, that's just normal stuff. And Elwood defends the big blind with 7-5 off, and away we go.
Nobody likes that flop.
Vaughn's going to check it to Ken. Will Ken check it back? Yes.
Kind of a good spot for a bet if you're Ken. Sometimes Elwood has something, but Matt usually doesn't have much when he checks.
Matt's usually going to bet his overs and gut shots and open-enders and all that kind of stuff.
Elwood's going to take a shot here.
Ooh.
This is a good shot. He could have a 10, he could have a jack.
It's pretty cheap, but Elwood's the guy most likely to have both a 10 and a jack.
I think I would have preferred a slightly bigger size.
He did size it pretty small, and I think Vaughan is just feels like
It's too cheap.
to fold right now. Let's see if Elwood, though, puts more pressure on him.
I'll almost 5 it. Would have worked.
I was rooting for a jack, but oh well. That way I would have the best hand.
That's a
with
pretty
7
good
high.
give-up card for Elwood. Matt has some ace, king, ace, queen in his range.
He's often betting that on the flop, but sometimes he has it. I think that's what Elwood's thinking about right now. He checks, and Vaughan checks it right back. He's going to win.
Just get to collect the winnings.
Always feels good when you call with a hand like that, and it's good.
Yeah.
You know, and you get to turn it over, and it's like, yep, that's right. I don't know why you guys are ever trying to bluff me.
River I wanted to see and then call on, but I was planning on calling most rivers.
Easy to say that when you don't have to call.
He just doesn't want people to bluff at him later, I think.
I don't blame him.
There it is.
Trying to take credit for the call without actually having to put the money in. That's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe true as well, but we'll never know. There's no way to know that.
We could maybe travel between universes, a universe where Elwood bets.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, it'd be weird if we did that and then the most interesting thing we found out was what Matt Vaughan did. Anyway, Brewer's going to raise blind, of course.
Yeah.
With the jack 5 off. He's not min-raising under the gun after having looked at his hand. Seems like
Joseph's
a
got a
pretty
nice hand.
small re-raise by Joseph.
Is that just
though.
40? Did you just
I
make
think
it?
it is.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
It's a
very small.
strange play.
Joseph's been raising really small lately. I'm not sure why.
Ken's going to get in there with the jack 7 suited.
Digital Dan, I think, is going to have to call, but hearts are not going to be his friend. They usually aren't.
Oh. Ooh.
Just sorry, man. Sometimes you got to call it like you see it. Brewer just has to call with the jack 5 by
Yeah.
getting this level of price.
Even if nobody called, he would have to call.
Yeah.
Joseph's open in there.
And he does have 4% equity, so.
And he's got an open ender.
But Ken has a straight.
But Brewer has an open ender. But yes, Ken has a straight. Joseph has a gut shot. Dan has nothing. Hearts are not his friend.
That is correct. Joseph has a gut shot, and he's got overs in the gutter, so I don't think he can fold yet, but he's only got 2 actual outs. Club is going to scare everybody, I think.
Brewer's got a call.
Yep. Joseph really has to call, too. I guess he could raise if he wanted to, but
Looks like he's going to fold.
yep.
It's not
reasonable.
crazy. It's not crazy.
I think
think
I would have called, I think. I understand there's 2 clubs out there, but oh, interesting card.
Well, Joseph should have called.
Joseph would have made it. Brewer's going to check.
Nobody likes that card. That's
Nope.
for sure.
Ken checks it right back. 3 of spades on the river. Brewer's got top pair. It's a little too good to bet.
I got a straight.
And
Not a very big straight.
Ken gets to take it down. Joseph would have made the best hand. The $295 would have been in his stack, and instead he forlornly watches it go to the destroyer of worlds.
Don't assign emotions, okay? You know, you don't know what they're thinking.
I know what they're thinking, and I know what they're feeling.
What's
And I'm
Dan
gonna talk
feeling
about
right
it.
now as he takes his glasses off and stretches?
Annoyed at you for talking right now. Oh, wait. What's Dan? What's Dan feeling?
I don't feel good anymore.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
I'm experiencing sadness.
But you say it with such a smile in your voice.
Yeah, that's how all of the truly sad people do it.
It's true, actually. Got to fake it till you make it, or don't make it.
Turn to pair.
Joseph still thinking about that ace queen. Look at him.
He's like,
It's like I really could have called there.
damn it.
Would have hit the 2-outer, the magical 2-outer for the whole thing.
Vaughn's got the little pair. Dan just folded ace 10 off. No,
it's Elwood.
and he has ace 10 off.
Yeah,
He's going
and
to call, which is actually
for him
not a guarantee.
He's been folding a lot of hands on the button that we really thought he should call with, but it looks like he's loosened up a little bit now.
And he folded king queen on a queen jack 9 board.
He folded king jack suited, I think, or at least king jack off.
It was
when,
offsuit
when Ken opened right in the hijack. 6 for Brewer, and that is it.
Matt's still got a pair.
This is the kind of board I'd expect Vaughan to continue on. Looks like he is going to.
That's 85.
I don't think it's going to get through Brewer.
No, he can't really fold yet. He's got middle pair. It's a little too good. And he knows Matt Vaughan's going to bet this board a lot.
It does suck how low the middle pair is.
Yep.
Vaughan could have a lot of pocket pairs above the 6.
Yep. But he's probably not going to put a lot more action in if he has that.
That's kind of a death card for everybody.
Yep. All the draws come in immediately.
It's probably just going to shut down all the action.
I mean, you know, Vaughan can have ace king of hearts.
Brewer could easily have a flush as well.
Yep.
Which is why Vaughan is not betting here.
The 4-5 comes in as well, of course. Brewer's thinking about it.
It's probably just a check and mostly call if Vaughan bets, depending on sizing.
Vaughan just checks it back, hoping his small bear is good. Not this time, buddy.
It's pretty hard for it to be good on that run out.
It really is. I think he knows he's losing and just doesn't want to. He's there's the face because he knows he would have gotten away with it had he turned his hand into a bluff.
I don't know. Brewer might decide that Vaughan would bet the turn with all of his major hands.
Ace king is checking back that turn all day.
Ace king is checking back. He could have ace king.
Any king is checking back that turn all day.
But Matt has shown a lot of speed so far in the session,
Yes.
and Brewer might decide it's time to call.
A lot of speed.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're wearing your big boy poker commentator pants
I'm
today.
like a real poker commentator
What just
now.
happened? That was incredible. Forget this game. This is amazing. What happened to you?
You're so impressed by me saying a lot of speed?
Yeah. I've never heard you talk like that before.
It's probably the first time I've said that.
It was the coolest thing I think you've ever said.
Thank you.
All right, back to the game. Back to the game. Now, a lot of people give Matt Vaughan tweets and trouble about his hair.
You stop it. He has ace king.
I'm not sure why. I think his hair is fine. But I don't know why he gets so much trouble for his haircut.
You're such a dick. All right, Matt has ace king under the gun.
All right. And it folds to Joseph, who is not interested. Easy win.
No action.
Seems like he gave a haircut to the table there. Took a little off the side. Why have you made this such a focus, by the way? Like almost every episode with Matt Vaughan, and one or another, you're talking about his hair.
Oh, yeah, that's me. That's all
What is
me.
that even about? You just don't like it? You just think it's not a good cut?
I don't know why you are so mean and then also trying to throw it on me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let me just say that.
Okay.
There's, the evidence is out there on our YouTube channel. You all
It
can
sure
listen.
is. It sure is.
He unfolds the 5-4 suited. He's under the gun. It's reasonable. Digital Dan.
Just Digital Dan with his stupid face or whatever you want to
Wow.
say. Is that
Don't
what you
say
want to
that.
say?
That is mean. By the way, Digital Dan looks like he is ready to kill somebody.
Yeah, because I said he had a stupid face.
Yeah, that wasn't nice. Don't do that.
I didn't mean it.
I know. But he doesn't know that. He
knows it now.
Vaughan is not going to defend this one. I got to
He's
believe.
made moves with 7 deuce.
I know. But he made the smile. Digital Dan. Let's see if he's still. Oh, now he doesn't want to kill anyone anymore. All right. Murder is no longer in his heart.
It's just a poker face, man.
Right now, you mean? Like he's pretending to be happy, but he still actually does want to
Yeah.
end somebody?
Yeah. The way you can tell somebody is truly sad is if they say sad things while they're smiling, or if they make a lot of mean YouTube comments.
This is the reaction I wanted.
That comes from a place of sadness.
Just keep having this.
No, it's gone. I mean, the tan keeps coming.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be done.
Yeah, tens or something.
Worse?
Quads, man.
Deuces. Queens.
Fold.
I can't fathom a guess as to what they're talking about.
And Digital Dan, I don't like the limp in early position with the deuces.
He's been doing it the whole time
I
he's
know.
ever been on Poker Time.
Just not a fan. He just raised 8s, but he's limping
That was
deuces.
his first time ever.
Dan, come on.
Oh my gosh, I really put a fucking jam.
I was trying to think.
I had a better one.
They do have different values. I'll say that. Joseph is raising with the Jack 5 suited. He's raising the Digital Dan open because he knows Digital Dan is mostly limping weak.
And he's super nonchalant about it, too. He was in a conversation. He did it really casual.
It feels very strong. Dan, of course, is going to be forced to call, but Joseph's going to win post-flop so much of the time. If Dan doesn't flop a deuce, isn't Joseph pretty much always winning?
Yep.
As long as he bets twice? Probably once, but twice for sure. Once he'll do it.
I'll let you stew on that
In
one.
the
for a
neighborhood.
Check.
Wow.
Joseph checks
That
it
is a
back.
surprising, and I don't like the check back.
I'm really surprised.
Dan picks up
Digital
the flush draw.
Dan can have a... He's the only one who can really have a flush here. Joseph's almost always going to bet. Joseph checks again. Is Joseph going to bluff the river? Surely. Surely. Wow. He never takes a shot at it.
That was strange. Maybe,
Did he not know that Dan had limped? Maybe he didn't know Dan had limped.
yeah,
That would make sense.
that makes a lot more sense. He was in the conversation. Maybe that was part of his
Yeah.
nonchalance. He actually didn't know.
He was just raising the button, and he's like, oh, you actually have something? Oh, well, I'm not
I
interested.
wish I was that good, Brittany.
That makes
He
sense.
should have taken a shot, though.
Yeah, especially once Dan showed... The queen came, and Dan checked again. I mean, you can have ace-queen there, right?
Yeah.
People make the stew jokes at me. I'm not very good at making them myself.
Make them yourself. It hurts less.
That's how it works.
Yeah, there's murder behind that smile. I can see
Oh,
it.
yeah, look at that. That's a forced smile for sure. Start with a pretty hand. And then a salmon shirt.
Dark salmon.
Is that like a salmon who's gone rogue?
Yeah.
Salmon you can't trust anymore?
Or it's like the dark web. The dark salmon. It's where you find all of the explicit salmon content.
Huh. I had not considered that.
And Stuart found that content and put it in his stack.
Explicit salmon content. What would be explicit salmon
I don't
content?
want to say that because this is not on the dark web, all right?
Yeah.
You can find that on the dark web and on the dark salmon.
I mean, I guess there probably is somewhere in the world explicit salmon content on the web, right?
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
yeah.
Wow. I can only think. All right, let's not get into it.
Started the next round.
I can only think of one thing that could really qualify as explicit
Well, let's
salmon
just
content.
not. Let's not.
But one thing in particular I can really think of. Two things. I thought of a second thing. Well, I'm not sure how that would
All right, Jonathan.
work logistically.
Let's get out of your head here and talk about the poker. Matt is raising 2 6s. Isan's got 2 7s. He could 3-bet this, or he could call.
Yep. Both are reasonable. He's going to call.
Fold. The button fold.
Does have the button. That's nice. And El Digitale is going to call, though it says. There we go.
9-7 suited.
Very pretty hand. And he's going to outflop the 2 pocket pairs, but he's not going to like it.
Nobody likes the flop.
Vaughan.
That'd be pretty good.
It's kind of a, kind of connected board there with the 9 and the 10.
It's pretty hard to get it through 2 opponents.
Yep. I think a check is reasonable. Isan is going to bet.
I think that's actually reasonable once Matt checks. Dan could have something, certainly, but Matt usually doesn't have a hand that really continues too often here.
I mean, Matt has all the 10s and 9s that he's check calling with,
I
right?
guess he does. He does, but he doesn't have so many of those that it's bad to bet there as Isan.
I agree. He can really only fold out suited connectors and small pocket pairs, though. 'Cause
Yeah.
if he has like 2 Broadway cards, he's calling with a gut shot.
I
He's
agree.
usually betting.
I think
it,
yeah,
actually.
that's what I.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying once he checks, he doesn't have that many calls.
He can also have some bad aces that he's checking. Ace 5 suited.
That's possible as well.
Anyway, it worked out.
Just like that salmon thing you were thinking of.
Man, the mind is a powerful, powerful instrument. Let me tell you. You think you can't think of anything, and then suddenly stuff just starts popping in your head. And it's like, oh, that's another thing they could do. That would be
Explicit salmon. Everybody Google explicit
That would
salmon
be-
content and make sure you
I
use the
mean-
word "and" when you're googling it. Explicit salmon content and Jonathan Levy.
I'd be curious to see if there's any video. Let me just say that.
Is there potential video?
I'm just going to say there's a lot of things I'm thinking about, and they're all biologically questionable at least. All right. Top and bottom here for Matt Vaughan, and top pair for Ken. We should see some serious action. Ken is not the type. Ken often raises top pair. So if Matt Vaughan bets, which I gotta believe he's going to,
Yeah, this is a very vulnerable hand.
I think Ken is likely to raise here. Let's see if he does.
It is heads up. He's less likely to raise heads up.
He raises a lot, even heads up. It looks like he is reaching
Yeah,
for
he's
the
got
chip.
the.
Yeah.
Yep, he made the raise.
Trying to protect his hand, I guess.
Not a huge fan of this race.
Will Matt Vaughan call or re-raise? I think he's just going to call on this board.
I
Is my
think both
guess.
options are fine against Ken.
Yeah. If he
Calling-
knows enough about Ken, he could.
They're both a little scary in their own way, right? Like re-raising, you really don't want to get 4-bet.
right.
But if you just call, there's a ton of bad cards.
So many bad cards.
He decides just to call.
That's
Hope for
completely
the
reasonable.
old deuce of clubs on the turn.
I would expect Ken's going.
Well, that's a good card.
Wow.
Although Ken's going to shut it down when the diamond comes.
Let's see if he does. He doesn't always shut it down. And in fact, he's reaching for chips.
Never
and
mind.
betting. Yeah. But Ken's never going to put another chip in the pot after
Ken
this.
probably should shut it down when the diamond comes. Let
Oh,
me
yeah.
put it that way.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
Because he was either beat already or now Matt is beating him.
Well, I think he's trying to bluff out an overpair now.
Yeah.
But it's clearly not going to work as Mr. Vaughan has a house that is got no more vacancies.
Wow.
Just came up with that.
Eloquent.
That's
That's actually the title of one of the Jonathan Levy salmon videos.
Matt's really hoping that Ken's got a straight or a flush here, or even 6-5. He has none of those things, and
Hopefully not a straight flush.
at least he checked and gave Ken a chance to put the $200 in because it looks like a raise is coming, and I gotta believe Ken cannot continue.
Yep, I agree. The biggest fear in Matt's mind is probably 6 is full.
Sure.
But you can just live with that.
Of course you
if that's
do.
the case.
On this board, you just have to. You're happy to get it in and lose a tiny bit. It's fine. You even have 2 outs though if he's got 6.
Can't imagine Ken continuing here. Yeah.
Not on the 5 of diamonds. That's a scary card. Ken often likes to bet the scary cards. That's
Yeah.
one of his MOs. Here's a place where it really didn't work out.
Matt probably thought that was the dream card that might
Yeah.
have completed a flush for Ken and the full house for him.
It was still a dreamy card for Matt all the
Yeah,
same.
Dreamscape.
There were there were some counterfeiting cards. There was the 6 to counterfeit him, and of course the 10 made a better top 2 for Ken.
Right.
So some stuff he would have wanted to dodge. Although once the 5 comes, it's all
Feeling pretty good.
Green Acres
Yeah.
all the way.
Yeah. Green Acres. Is that your favorite TV show when you were a kid?
The salmon show on the Playboy Network was pretty good.
Oh,
but
yeah. That one's good.
it's just-
Did you have to like move the bunny ears around to get the fuzzy Playboy salmon show?
you just really hope Mom isn't coming up the stairs. You know what I mean? All right, so here's Matt Vaughan.
Brewer blind raise under the gun again.
Yeah,
70, fold, fold.
Matt Vaughan with the 3-bet, but it's really just a normal raise. It's important to think of it that way. Digital Dan could absolutely 3-bet this.
Yep. That would be a
Looks
reasonable
like
decision.
in fact he is 3-betting. I love it. I like this play.
He's going to win a lot post flop. I don't think Matt's going to fold pre flop.
Agreed.
It's 130 to call here.
With 300 in the pot already and another 1.4 back, I don't think he can fold. But
He can have the best hand pretty easily, not only set mining.
True, but it may be hard for him to realize his equity.
Right, he might have to
On,
flop like a gut shot
Yeah.
in order to continue unless he flops a set. Gut shot at a minimum.
But there's going to be an overcard and even multiple overcards on the flop. Of course, there are other flops that are going to be a problem for him as well, as we see. 2 7s, diamonds, things
That's
like
a
that.
flop that he cannot fold on.
Unless Dan sizes it really big.
I guess if Dan bets 500, Matt can fold.
I can't imagine he's going to do. I would expect Dan's going to bet about 200 again, give or take.
Dan's been downsizing in
Yeah.
3-bet pots. He might even
Down
bet
betting.
something like 150.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of time, Matt will just have missed. And he's going to bet 200.
200.
That's probably going to keep going. And then the question will be, what happens on the turn?
The turn should be the
8 of diamonds, obviously.
Well, that's too coolery. I was
Oh, is
thinking just more like the 4 of diamonds. So keep things interesting, you know.
I think Matt would be check folding on the 4 diamonds. He does call. He doesn't like it, but you got to call on that board.
I hate that feeling.
Yep, me too.
Well, that's a card that Matt must like because
It's so hard for Digital Dan to keep going here. How can he bet?
right,
with an
Matt has
overpair
more
here?
9s in his range than
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
does. Matt could have 9-10 suited, Jack-9 suited, 8-9 suited, Ace-9 suited.
By the way, it's also a 3rd spade.
Right. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. 5 of diamonds on the river.
All right, Matt just gets to win with the check
Well,
is my guess.
I mean, Digital Dan could bet here if Matt checks again.
No,
Digital Dan could
that's
bet
true.
kings or something like
he
that.
would he could be repping Jacks plus by
Yeah.
betting again because Matt's checked twice.
It's not an
once.
easy spot for Matt at all. If Dan bets, $450 on the river, $500 on the river.
It's tough to pull the trigger on that bet. But
Yep.
it would make sense. It would be a reasonable value bet with any overpair.
Matt checks, and now you have to think if he had a flush, he'd bet. If he had trip nines, he'd bet, trying to get called by the overpair. And so that's the reason to go for it. Matt Vaughan can be a little sticky. At least he claims he can be sticky. I don't know. Well, maybe
Look
we'll
at
get to
that
find
beautiful split screen.
out. You really get the full. Oh, and he gives up. It's understandable, but
And Matt feels great.
I think a river bet would have gotten through.
I think most sizes would have gotten through.
Yeah, you can't bet 300 there, but
Yeah.
$500, $550. I think that's usually getting through.
Are you? That's where is it? At Commerce?
No, but
Nice.
They're talking about other poker that they're going to play. Guys, keep your head in the game. It's poker time.
Let's not talk about other poker time.
Yeah.
WSOP circuit.
Shut up, Ken.
Well, you know what? You got to take it back a notch, bro.
Okay. Sorry. I was
Apologize to Ken.
I'm sorry, Ken. I
Thank
didn't
you.
mean it. I had just said that you're only supposed
I
to
know.
talk about
He
poker.
can't
time, and
hear
then-
you.
I know.
That's the thing.
I know.
All right.
I'm sorry. I apologize
you
to
did
Ken
good.
and
That's
all
fine.
of the Ken fans out there.
Good.
Fires away
Matt Vaughn with King Jack. It's good enough for him.
That could be a very bad question.
Matt Vaughn definitely leading the league in VPIP this time around.
It seems like it, yeah.
And I think they're all out by now. But
Okay, I'm behind on the news.
Ken's got the ace-3 of diamonds. He goes nowhere.
Yeah, that sounds about
The
right.
Southern California one wasn't as big.
And Brewer with 10-8 off. This is good enough to defend, I think.
Yeah, certainly.
I mean, for him.
You wouldn't defend?
No, I absolutely would.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes, think about the way he plays. Open ender for Brewer. That's about it.
That's the only guy who's got anything there.
General.
He's going to check it.
It's a relatively dry board. Matt might continue on, but he decides against it.
I mean, it's not a great spot. It's going to check through, and that is
It's a
pretty
brick.
big Brickatola there.
Brewer's going to probably start betting now.
I think so. I think it's time to pull out the old.
He could have a 9, a 7, or a deuce, so this is a really great spot for him, and it should just get through.
Yep. Ken's going to call.
Ken's going to call with ace high. I don't know about that.
Because he's putting Brewer on a draw, and he's right.
Brewer's
See what happens.
range includes all pairs and the draws.
Yep, Brewer would bet a 9, a 7, or a deuce. Now, he wouldn't bet a 7 on the river.
No,
for
but
sure.
he would bet a 9 or a deuce.
He bet a good 9 and a deuce, right?
and he's going to bet 180.
Actually, maybe any 9.
And Ken called with ace 3 on the turn. The 4 shouldn't change
The
anything.
spades don't come in. The straight draw doesn't come in. Looks like he is reaching. Is he raising?
This is ambitious if he's just going to call, but if he raises, it makes sense.
Yeah.
He
That's
just
a call.
calls. Wow. That hurts for Brewer.
Got to shake that one off.
Just over 14K in the pot. The turn is the 4 of diamonds.
Hey, what is that? Speaking of turn, coming around the mountain? Is
Oh.
that the Nitrogen Sports Poker Train?
I think they did buy a train recently.
If you listen, you can hear its very familiar jingle. And choo-choo. Wait, there's the jingle. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Wow, that's the weirdest ad ever all of a sudden. Anyway, Nitrogen Sports Poker Room is, they let us do ads like this.
They
perhaps
do.
because they don't listen to them.
Free reign, baby. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Why can't we have a train with my face on it one time?
Sorry, bro. It's all me all the time. You know how it is. Nitrogen is our sponsor, but they love me. It's okay. They like you. You're fine. They love me. They put me on the train. It's okay.
So it's
25.
You're making me sad.
Yeah, I see that. I'm sorry.
Bring a flop, and then
I don't want you to be sad. Just humbled.
Oh, I think we're having.
Is this a bomb pot?
I think they're negotiating a bomb pot.
All
here.
right. So why don't you tell the people what a bomb pot is?
All right, so a bomb pot is where everybody puts in a predetermined amount pre-flop, and we see a flop. Everybody gets their cards, and then they play out the rest of the hand. So we're
right.
going to go 8-handed to the flop, have betting, and then go to the turn and river as a normal hand.
Basically, yeah. Once the flop's going to come out, they're going to play it as normal, but there'll already be $200 in there. And just so everyone knows, the button won't move.
Right.
So whoever is on the button here, which is Stuart, he's going to be the button next hand as well.
Technically, you called pre-flop. So
It's not a bad strategy.
And for those who aren't immediately putting things together, you need a much stronger hand to continue in a bomb pot than in any other scenario.
Right. Now, no one really has anything here, I see. Oh, actually, the Jack of Hearts for Isan. He's got a Royal Flush draw, and so does Matt Vaughan. Okay, they have something.
Yeah, there's 2 royal flush draws, but nothing else.
Yeah.
Looks like Matt's going to bet his.
These guys could really put a lot of action in if they wanted to with 2 Royal Flush draws. Especially Isan, who's got the nut draw here. He knows he's got the nut draw 2 ways.
I think Isan should raise here 100% of the time. This is a bomb pot. When he raises, he knows for sure that nobody has the nuts, and he's
Yeah.
repping the nuts. Nobody can do anything about it. This is a slam dunk raise.
He has outs against everything.
I really don't like the call. I think it must be a raise.
Well, he does have the whole world behind him at least.
It doesn't matter. He has the Jack of Hearts.
He can,
what can they
he can
have?
raise on the turn once he sees that there are
Okay.
4 people in and,
That's
and
fine.
like sets and straights
Okay.
and stuff like that.
I really would have liked him to raise by now, but if he doesn't,
I think raise the turn is fine.
Is Matt even going to bet though? I don't feel like he should be betting too often here.
I mean, Matt didn't get raised, so Matt is, I guess, deciding because he's got the 10 of hearts, he's going to rep a flush.
I mean,
'Cause
Isan
that's all he's
could've-
repping now when he bets
Isan
again.
could have called with the nuts, as you're saying.
course.
He's going to rep the nuts at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like
This
if
is
you're
a
going
good
to have
time
the
to do
Jack
it.
of Hearts, you have to rep the nuts at some point.
I think so. In a bomb pot specifically, I think it's time to raise. Make it a solid, what, $700?
Yeah.
That seems fine.
It looks like he's just going to call.
He is going to call.
So I guess
Problem
he's
with this, as it turns out, a heart coming in is going to get him paid. But, well, that's a weird
Well,
card.
Matt makes a straight, but
Matt has the
he
best
can't
hand.
really feel like a straight is that good. Isan can
I mean,
have a low flush.
He's
Wouldn't
going to
Isan
try.
play?
He's going to try and fold out a baby flush.
Wouldn't Isan play a low flush like this the whole way in a bomb pot?
He just might do that. Yeah, he might raise it, but he might just call because of that. Yeah,
Because there's way too many players in to.
Matt Vaughan's hand is too good. I think it's. I think you're. Are you? Is he supposed to check here? Or is he?
He's absolutely supposed to check because he's going to try to get called by
how's he
2
supposed
pair.
To, there are 2 pairs. It's so hard to get called by 2
Isan has
pair.
2 pair, by the way.
Oh yeah, he does. How about that?
That's 435.
I mean, Isan could have a set too. He could have a set of aces, kings, queens,
Yep.
sevens, or jacks.
Yep.
Well, not sevens.
Hard to get value from any of those things, but I guess you got to try. It's okay to try. Matt Vaughan also knows he's just folding if he gets raised, right? I assume.
Isan's doing too much face stuff. He should be raising. He has the Jack of Hearts in a bomb pot. This is a clear raise.
Is he possibly thinking about calling with 2 pair?
To beat what?
Bottom 2? To beat the 9 of hearts? It's hard to come up with much.
435.
Looks like he's counting up calling chips, though, not raising chips.
This is a pretty ambitious value bet from Matt, and if it works out, it would be kind of crazy.
Yeah. This is such... Isan's stack is set up really nicely to move in here, too. It's got a pot-sized bet. Exactly. Like, it's kind of... Oh, no, sorry. Well, effectively, because Matt Vaughan's got 1.4K back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of perfect.
But Isan's doing too much stuff that seems genuine to now make a move, doesn't?
I
Doesn't
disagree.
it seem
If he
that
does
way?
all this and then moves in, it feels super strong.
That's true too. But
And Matt-
usually he looks very genuine there. Maybe he's a great actor, but most players aren't that good at it.
Matt's not even looking at him, though.
I think he's looking out of the side of his eye.
I don't think he is. I think
That's-
he's trying not to give anything away. I don't think.
Why do you think he has that haircut? Full visibility.
Wow, there you go, taking shots at the hair again.
I
Every
jumped on-
episode, you go after
I
his
jumped on
hair.
the Levy train.
Every episode.
Why do you have to be like that? When I try to make a joke, you have to be like that. Why?
Isan's really thinking this one through. He's cracking his
I
knuckles.
noticed you didn't answer my question.
Pulls it back. I don't think you can call here, Isan. I think it's a fold or a raise.
Dang it, I don't know what to do.
Boy, if Isan raises the flop, they might get it all in, and then Matt rivers the straight. That would have been pretty
I
brutal.
think Matt folds if Isan raises the flop.
Oh, maybe because he doesn't have the. Yeah, he could be drawing dead.
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah.
Because Isan's repping just the nut flush.
Yeah.
Because
fair.
Matt was in early position in this bomb pot, by the way. Let's not forget about that.
See, now after all this, it's really hard to raise.
It is.
Although, again, if he actually did it, you might think, whoa, what's with all the Hollywood?
You want heads up.
You want to see one?
I might show one.
I think I have a general idea of what you have.
I don't think you know what he
Nope,
has, Matt.
I don't think so either.
Isan's really taking his time with this.
Shows the jack of hearts. Now it looks like Isan has 2 jacks. right? Like you rivered a set. What else could it be?
That's why I'm saying I should have raised the flop. I mean, I have. Fucking.
Wonder if Matt thinks they're chopping.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that good?
You haven't folded yet?
No, yeah, man.
I don't know what you could beat Isan. You can't really beat anything. Matt bet into the whole table. Now he did bet into the whole table with nothing, but he got there. So maybe there's something there.
Just seems really optimistic to call with bottom 2 in a bomb pot this way. Just seems really optimistic. When you had a perfect raising card too.
Yep.
I have more than that, by the way.
Makes more sense.
I'm not thinking. Just jack.
That's Praney has exactly 2 jacks. That would be just about as good as it gets.
Sorry, guys. This one's entertaining.
Really taking his time. Nope.
Wow.
Didn't let it go yet. There it goes.
There we go. He hates folding. This guy does not like to fold.
Pineapple and random hands or that'd be fun.
John, if you made it 1800 there, that is the best hand of TV. That's
software,
like one of the best hands ever of TV poker.
I think we should go.
Stuart was even talking about him raising that.
I think we should.
Let's keep it.
That's what I do over there.
I gotta say, I like how Isan's played pretty much the entire session. I hated how he played that hand. In a bomb pot on a 3 flush board where you have the nut flush draw, that is a license to raise and basically win no matter what.
Okay, I thought it was
I'm gonna see
a
it.
fuse.
I know.
I mean,
We're still playing for another.
if Matt Vaughan's got the 10 high flush, he's not going to necessarily fold, right? If he's got a flush, he may hold on.
He might hold on once, but if Isan keeps going, I mean, it's pretty tough to keep going with a 10 high flush.
No, I don't know if I agree with you. Because you think like, oh, you can have the nut flush draw. And you can be like, I can beat all the nut flush draws. This is great.
I guess you
there's
could
more
think
combos
that.
of non flushes than flushes when he's got the jack of hearts in his hand.
I don't know. I think it's a lot better to raise that at some point.
I agree, but I'm saying I don't think you're going to fold out everything. I disagree
You're going
with
to fold out
that.
the majority of things.
Yeah, but you may not fold out flushes.
Small flushes, I think you fold out.
I'm not sure. I don't know if they're deep enough to really be able to fold out small flushes.
Well, we should ask Wonka what would be right. He knows all the bomb pop math.
He does. All right, so we got a new hand here. We got a whole lot of nothing for everybody. Isan has the best hand with ace queen. It's going to check through, and it's
Still
a
the
diamond
best-
draw though for Joseph. He's going to check it.
This hand is less exciting than last hand.
Ken also with the diamond draw also checks it. This is surprising.
Nobody
and it's
has
a straight
anything.
for Joseph.
Oh.
Oh no, it's not.
Okay, good.
I take it
thought I
back.
was going crazy for a second.
Isan's just going to run with ace high. No one bet their flush draw on the turn after it checked, and the bottom card, the 6 pair. That's surprising. I guess
Yeah.
four-handed. Everyone just wanted to get there. Well, Isan, don't worry about it, man. You won this pot. You lost the last one, 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
So you're back to even. It's cool. Just for those 2 hands, I mean, obviously you're
That's
up for the whole thing.
Jonathan math.
Yeah. If he wins another pot, oh my God,
Yeah,
he's won 2/3 of pots.
66%.
67 even. And imagine just how, like, you're basically, if you're a baseball player, you're the greatest player of all time by a lot.
Greatest
By a
hitter.
lot.
Greatest hitter.
If you're shooting basketballs, you're the greatest basketball shooter of all time by a lot. All right.
With defense?
Yeah, of course with defense.
Yeah.
Fold.
Or without.
I bet
Brewer's gonna open
I bet
this.
Steph Curry can do better than 67% from 3 without defense.
Yeah, but what about with a hand in his frickin' face?
We didn't talk about that. All right, Joseph's going to defend the king 3. Or
From the
is
small
he?
blind?
Is he? I think that was
No.
a miss.
It cannot be so. It is not. Okay.
No, it's Matt Vaughan defending from the big blind with
Flops
now,
a gutter.
Now a gut shot. Brewer's going to bet because Jack
Assume-
10-10 doesn't hit that many hands.
I would think Matt's just going to raise this up a lot, right?
It's a good time to race.
He can have a 10. He'd raise a 10 at least some of the time.
You could call too. It's fine.
Yeah, it's so cheap.
This way you can
call.
rep a 10 or a jack later.
That's true. It's okay to call here, for sure, especially with the overcard. Checks again.
There's a lot of straight draws out there, and Brewer and Vaughan have a little bit of history at this point, so Vaughan might not be able to get it through on the river if he decides to take a shot.
It's going to go check,
Well, now
check.
he makes an 8, so it's
He has the best hand.
probably just going to go check now.
Yeah, Brewer probably won't feel the need to turn ace-9 into a bluff.
It's going to be one of those spots as Brewer where you don't really want your opponent to check because that usually means you're losing.
Wait
oh,
a
Matt's going to
second.
go for a bet.
Whoa.
This must be value. He's putting Brewer on ace high, or else I don't
Or a small
understand
pocket pair.
Yeah.
This is pretty interesting.
Wow, is it going to work?
Brewer's strongly considering it.
This one of the
He
straight
did-
draws, 2 of the straight draws did get there.
Yeah, Queen 9 gets there.
7-9.
7-9 gets there. You would never think in a million years he's betting an 8.
It's a cool bet.
It's really going for some seriously thin value here.
I mean, Brewer could have a jack or an overpair when he checks back the turn too. But
Of course he could. Of course he could. And that's
Well,
the problem.
That,
But-
and Brewer folded ace high, so I guess
Yeah.
didn't work out that
Would
well.
he call with 2 6s is the question. Probably not, right? If he folds
Yeah,
ace high,
probably
it's
not.
probably all the same.
Yeah. Interesting bet.
Yeah, I like that he was going for that. He was pretty sure where he was at. I guess maybe he thinks he's check calling anyway against the overpairs.
I think
and
he
stuff
maybe
like
should
that.
have bet bigger. He bet a size that he thought could get called by ace high, but
Right.
it bet maybe a more polarizing sizing might confuse Brewer into calling.
Yeah, do a little merge action.
Yeah.
Merge like the frickin' Transformers.
Yeah.
Explicit version.
Yeah, when the cars merge, you don't think that is sexy as hell?
Okay, not something I thought was going to be said out loud on this show. Stuart with the 6-4
You
suited.
never know where we're going.
I appreciate that. I don't know if anyone else does, but I do.
Fold, fold. Fold.
He's with the king 4 off. You could fold this. Looks like he's going to.
Yeah, it doesn't play very well.
Yeah. You could call, but it's fine to fold.
If it's a game with antes or a tournament with antes, it's a call, but no antes, don't need to call.
Also, the tournament sizing, the pre-flop raising sizing
Sure.
will be much smaller. And actually, often people are going to be wider with their raises. The ranges are going to be wider a lot of the time.
Yep, that's true too.
Got to steal.
Although Stewart had a pretty weak hand there.
He did. He did. Stuart may not be wider. Actually, Stuart may be playing the same ranges either way, but digital.
Well, we got something wrong
Still
here.
has
it says
murder in his
Elwood's
heart.
under the gun,
Yeah.
which is untrue.
That's a problem.
I think that's getting fixed, and that's why we're having a bit of a delay here.
Okay.
In the meantime, Stewart's raised to 35, it looks like. He's got ace-6.
A6 of diamonds.
We're going to get it all right pretty soon here. So Stewart's raised with ace-6 of diamonds. Joseph looks like he's going to call.
There's the A6 of diamonds. Looks like they're still a little bit screwed up, but hey.
No, it's all. This is
Oh,
all
no, now
correct.
it's right? Okay, great. King 10 suited.
Offsuit.
Off suit.
You just expected it to be
So
suited.
they were both black, so I thought they were going to be suited.
Isan's going to call with the ace-10 offsuit,
From the small blind.
and Ken's going to call with a 9-5 in the big blind.
You know what? Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
A 10 for both Isan and Joseph. Bad news for Joseph, although it's probably not going to be a huge pot unless another
Sick
10 comes.
Cooler.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Stewart's got ace-6, his favorite hand to mess around with, according to last episode. Decides not to bet his bottom pair here. Joseph should probably bet.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of bad cards.
That's 80.
And there are 4 ways.
Isan has to make a mandatory but uncomfortable call here.
Yeah, this is a super straightforward call. This should work out well for Isan. If Joseph doesn't improve, I would expect him to check back the turn a lot.
Yes.
See, up there, Joseph only has the 3 kings as outs. That brings Jack 9.
And a couple two-pair combos.
7-9, I guess. Unlikely Isan's ever going to have 7-9, but Joseph could have that.
6-8 suited, 10-8 suited.
Yep. It's going to check, as we'd expect. And
That card's going to
it's going to scare everyone.
not really make any action happen, and I guess Isan's just going to get to win with ace-10 most of the
Well,
time.
one of these guys could decide to turn their hand into a bluff here, but they do not.
Doesn't seem reasonable.
Someone could sort of accidentally have a 9 in their hand, though. 10-9 suited.
Yeah.
Joseph looking really in thought there.
Joseph's been taking it on the chin a little bit over the past couple hours of the
Yeah.
session.
It's true. Now, if you're wondering when Grant says the past couple hours, what we're talking about, there are other episodes of this session, and then you can find them on our YouTube channel, of course.
Yeah, if this is the only one you've seen, you're a fool.
Yeah, there's been, this is episode 5, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Fifth one.
of this session.
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
many episodes of
Oh,
Poker
yeah,
Timer
yeah.
out there if you are so inclined.
There's like 50, 60 episodes, something like that overall.
Probably more.
Yeah, who knows anymore, man.
Yeah. We were doing 2 a week for a while there. So.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Here's Joseph with the ace-5. Hijack. It's good enough.
Trying to climb out of that hole.
Matt Vaughan has nefarious
He
intentions.
must with the Jack-8 and that look on his face.
You cannot trust this guy.
I wouldn't.
Raise to 130.
This is going to be a very effective play against Joseph's hand. I can't imagine Joseph playing back, although he could. But
He absolutely could.
Decides not to.
He generally doesn't have a whole lot of light 4-bets in him, I would say. Not many players do.
Joseph's light 4-bets have, interestingly enough, in the history of Poker Time, mostly been cold 4-bets. They have not been in a situation like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool, because I think cold 4-bets are generally more effective as bluffs.
Looks super strong.
Yeah.
For sure.
And if you don't know what I mean when I say cold 4-bet, I mean they haven't yet had a chance to enter the pot. There's already been a raise and a 3-bet in front of them. And then they decide to 4-bet anyway.
I shall reciprocate.
There we go.
Stewart has done the blind raise under the gun.
As he has pretty much all the way through. Joseph is going to raise. Size it up a little bit for him anyway. Not 40 anymore.
Still small for a
Definitely
cash game.
small. Definitely small, but a little bit more.
He looks a bit like a broken man there. Look at his face.
He does. Ken's got the 9-6 suited. I will take Ken to win this hand.
You should just take Ken
Can
to
I do
win
that?
anything.
Can I bet on that?
Is Ken running for president in 2020? I take Ken to win the election. You know.
And well, the
Joseph's
best
still
hand
got
is
the-
Joseph's, but who's going to actually win this hand? I ask you, and it's only one man. Oh, Ken,
Ken checks it back.
You let me down.
Ken could still win the hand if Joseph checks again and Ken decides to bet. Joseph sometimes folds in that spot.
Stewart with the king-8 off.
He's going to take a shot.
This might just work.
The old Stewart didn't even cross your mind as a potential winner of the hand.
No, Ken was in the hand. Why would I think about that?
And Joseph is not having it.
Wow. Joseph is done with...
Whoa!
Oh!
Ken overcalls.
Ken's going to get there.
Ken's going to win.
He's going to win one way or another.
Ken always wins.
Just bluff the river. Raise the river. It'll be fine.
Ken 2020.
And Ken 2020. That's a... it's an interesting card. If Stewart bets again, it's pretty hard for everyone to call, but it's hard for Stewart to bet again when he gets called in 2 places.
It's pretty tough.
Joseph can absolutely have a bad ace here.
Or a 10 that he's not folding.
Yep. It makes it harder to believe he...
All right, I
ace.
think Joseph's
Will
going to
Ken
win.
bluff?
Unless Ken decides.
Will Ken bluff?
Oh, he's
Wait.
doing it.
Ken.
Ken is the Kenest of Kens.
Ken. Who needs Barbie? We got Ken.
He doesn't even need a running mate in 2020. He can win all by himself.
Who's your vice president? I don't know. Wait, Joseph called. Never mind.
Oh! Joseph 2020.
Look at Joseph's face. He is done. He is just not interested.
No. He's like,
Like,
you know what,
whatever,
Ken?
man.
You know what, Ken? Never again.
Yeah. Ken 2020, more like not 2020.
No, it's Joseph 2020 now.
Yeah.
You did 2 pair, and then I saw the 9 first. I was like, damn it! Oh, it's 9-6.
Wow. Interesting bluff there from Ken. Really hard to put Ken on a bluff, but Joseph did it pretty easily.
It's like Ken was on the campaign trail. Everything was going really well.
I mean, can't Ken have a 10 there?
Then he just had one of those classic gaffes.
I guess Joseph just thinks Ken never has an ace because he checked the flop, and he doesn't think he'd bet at 10 that way. And you know what? He was right.
His campaign manager kept telling him not to talk about the soda tax. Don't talk about the soda
Well,
tax,
what did he
Ken.
do? What did he
talked
do?
about the soda tax, and then look what happens.
Don't ever talk about the soda tax, guys. Just dodge the question. Pivot. Joseph with a premium hand this time around.
And also a pissed off face. He's not
He made
going
the
to fold.
call. He made the call. He
And
was
he's-
right. He won the pot, but now he's like, "That's right. That's right." You know, he's psyching himself
You know,
up.
when like a football player makes a really good tackle,
Yeah.
and they look angry, but really they're happy.
I've been there many times. Ken's gonna try and extract some revenge here.
He does have a reasonable hand.
Oh, of course he does. He actually has the best hand. And these are 2 pretty darn good hands here.
5, 10, and a fold. Fold.
So I imagine Joseph will just call and
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Seems like, I mean, this is a really good hand to call with.
You have blacks, Ken?
I have no blacks.
Thank you.
Oh, Ken is pretty short though. That's
he's
what
not
Joseph.
that
He's
short,
not that
though.
short.
I mean, you can't. I mean, how can Ken? The ace queen does not do well against the continuing range of Ken.
If Joseph were to
Joseph
fold.
were to re-raise, yeah.
Maybe you saw Ken 4-bet that ace king earlier against Brewer and how well it worked out.
Joseph's thinking about it.
He's
moves
doing
in.
it. He moves him in.
Ken calls instantly.
Wow. Okay. Neither of these guys' hands are doing well against their opponent's ranges.
That is
in
for
this spot.
sure.
Ken should not be calling instantly. Joseph should not be moving in.
Ken clearly had a plan.
But somebody's going to win this random flip for 2.3K.
Well, I like
it looks
Ken.
like Ken.
I like Ken's spot.
Joseph does have a.
He has
some
got the
outs.
gutter.
Yeah.
That's it. 4 outs.
Ooh.
Two of them were dead.
And that's gonna do it
Huge.
for this episode. And
Ken,
I guess
big
it's
double
Ken
up.
2020 once again. Joseph was a flash in the pan. It looks like.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, you know.
Wow. Ken gets the full double. He's wishing he didn't bluff that river, I guess. Get even more.
Joseph was like Howard Dean until he had that screaming thing.
Ken called so fast.
1160.
And as you can see, Isan is a massive winner here. And at this point now, Ken is getting back into where he's used to being.
Yeah.
Well up.
Ken was down about $400 before that hand started, but now he's number 3 on the charts. Joseph is, well, Digital Dan is handling it, but besides that, it's not good.
See you guys next week.